IELTS writing. Well, in the academic IELTS, we have two different tasks. The first task is a smaller task, and then we have a bigger task, which is usually an essay, mostly an academic essay. So, task one requires you to spend 20 minutes writing a descriptive report, or maybe like four different paragraphs describing a picture. And then task two is where you'll have a writing prompt and you have to answer the writing prompt. So let's have a look at task one. What are the different types of questions that you could get for task one? The first one is a map. You could get a map. You'll see that some of these have 1995 and then the present. So you'll have to describe renovations or maybe construction work or differences between a particular map that was in the past and then another one in the present, or two or three maps both in the past, or maybe a map in the present and then one in the future. So you'll just have to describe what you see and then compare those two different maps and then write the comparison that you see in those maps. So basically, they want to check if you are able to describe the differences, are able to, use the descriptive map language and vocabulary to show the differences between the maps, and also talk about all these things using different tenses, the appropriate tenses. For example, past tense or future tense, and then present tense. So this is one particular question you could get. There's also a set of map vocabulary that you can use for this, which includes directions and descriptive language about locations of each part. And then we have a process diagram, which is again another diagram describing how maybe fish is processed, caught, and then processed and then sold or delivered, or how cement is made versus how concrete is produced, or maybe the life cycle of a frog, or how bricks are made, etc. So basically, you'll have a flow diagram, a flow chart with different pictures that describe how a certain process is done, and you need to turn this into words. So that's what they check here, your ability to turn what you see in images into words. So you'll again write a couple of paragraphs describing what you see, the overall process, and then each step in a logical way, in a consecutive format. And then we'll have the bar chart. So you could have a bar chart, and then you have to describe the different trends that you see in the bar chart. So first of all, you have to describe the overall trend. For example, in this particular question, we have female school leavers in 3 different countries, actually in all of the countries, increasing from 1980 to 2015. So that's the overall trend. And then you have to describe differences, make comparisons. You don't have to describe every single thing that you see on the bar chart, just the major relevant differences or major relevant trends that you see, and just need to summarize that information and select and report those details. You could categorize, if possible. You can create your own titles for these categories. For example, if you have sports, computer games, music, and shopping, you can group them together into different types of leisure activity, like outdoor leisure activities and indoor leisure activities. For example, music and computer games could be those, while sports and shopping could be outdoor games. So you could do that and group those different titles together if possible. So that's this. And then we have the line graph. So the line graph is again the same thing. You just need to select and report the important things and the overall trend, and then go into details. So in the first paragraph, which I'll be showing you here, here you have a pie chart. So in the first paragraph, it's just going to be like a paraphrasing of the question. If you look at this example, for example, here, you'll just be paraphrasing the question. And then in the second paragraph, it's the overall overview of those important details. So you won't really have any numbers or data inside the overall inside the overview paragraph. You'll just have like a very short paragraph about what these maps talk about, or what these charts talk about. So that's what this is. And then you'll have a first and second body paragraph where you'll describe those in details. So you'll make comparisons. You'll talk about the important trends. So which is the highest and which is the lowest, and so on. That's that. And then we have, so that was the line graph. So the format of the, or the structure of the report is the same for all of these. You're going to have, for most of these, they're very similar. And then you're going to have multiple graphs. So in multiple graphs, you'll have a combination of maybe a pie chart and a line graph, or maybe a pie chart and a table. So I'm going to describe a table soon in just a second. So you might have multiple charts and then make comparisons between all of those. So you might have 2 to 3 charts maximum. And then we have the table. You sometimes might have 2 tables. That's a possibility. And sometimes just 1. So again, you have to make comparisons and you have to describe which is the highest and the lowest, and so on here. And pie charts, that's another thing that you could get. 1 to 3 pie charts, that's a possibility. And that's about it. So this was just like an overview of all the different questions that you could get on test 8 for writing task 1.